Let's try that again. Whoa, what's happening, Boot Junkies? Mike Delgadio here, back with another video on home studio setup for voiceover. Have something a little bit different for you today. I have been asked to record a bumper for a TV commercial, just like the last 5 or 6 second tag at the end of a commercial. And I want to show you what I'm doing here. It's going to be a bit of an experiment. I'm working with a graphic artist, filmmaker type somewhere else in the country, and they've asked me to do this bumper. Now, the idea for the project is this is for a theater who's putting on a production about a boxing match that takes place 100 years ago, something like that. And so they want me to try and do this tag, this bumper, a couple of different ways. One, to make it sound contemporary, like, you know, your normal bumper, and also one to try and make it sound old-timey, like it was for, like the announcer would have done it 100 years ago in the, early 1900s. So I've got an array of microphones set up here. My Neumann, my TLM 103, and I also have one that I made. I don't know if everybody knows this, but you can actually make your own microphone, and you can make a microphone out of essentially a speaker and 2 wires and a guitar cable. So let me see if I can get this here. So I've got my other camera. So this microphone I made out of an old AM radio, and really it's gutted except for the little tiny speaker that's right there in the grill. So see if you can get that there. So still an AM radio. I kept the dial, but there was a headphone jack, and the headphone jack I replaced with a guitar cable. So a regular unbalanced 1/4 inch cable that goes and snakes its way around and ends up in the Zoom H5. So I have both microphones. So the Neumann here, that one snakes around and ends up in this input number 1, and input number 2 is the guitar cable, input number 2. And as you can see down in the meter, I've got signal on both microphones. So the little AM radio dynamic microphone that I made, and the TLM 103 that I've made. That is pretty cool. Now, the interesting thing about the dynamic microphones is they have a very limited range. So that actually will work well for me for the old-timey sense. It has no bass, it has no treble. It's really just all packed mid-range. Sort of what depending on which speaker you choose when you're building that microphone. This is probably a 60-year-old thing that I picked up at a yard sale for a couple of bucks. Didn't work, so it's essentially gutted. Maybe I'll make a video, just give you a tour of this microphone. If anybody's interested in seeing it, just let me know in the comments, and I'll happily show you what I did in this thing. Really super simple. And then, so what I'm going to do, but I'm running both microphones so I can get a clean version and a old-timey version of the two things. So I'm going to try a couple of different takes, a couple of different ways. There's a lot of text to try and fit in 5 seconds, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit it. They have about 9 seconds worth of audio to fit in 5 seconds, which happens more than I'd like to admit. But they said I could cut the last 3 seconds out. It's just a phone number. I'm allowed to cut that out if I can't make it fit. So the script is: The Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Call 412-431-CITY. So that's a lot of text to try and fit that into 5 seconds. So it's going to have to go a lot faster than that. Maybe I'll set a timer on my phone and actually see what my timings are. Normally there would be, in a lot of cases, you'd have an engineer or an assistant who's somebody who's taking those measurements for you. But we will do this. So I'm going to arm my recorder. So now I'm recording on the Zoom. You guys can hear me. So let's see. This is Go Ringside Straight Version, Take 1. Go ringside for the fight of the century. The Royale paying... That was 5 seconds, but I messed up, so... This is City Theater, take 2, straight. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Call 412-431-CITY. That was about 7 seconds. I don't know how I'm going to get that phone number in there. I'll try and go a little bit faster and see what happens. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Call 412-431-CITY. That was about 6 seconds, but it sounds like I've accelerated myself. So let's try it once without the phone number. I think that's going to be the version that they're happy with. So let's reset that. This is City Theater, take 3, straight. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. 5.4 seconds. Give or take. So I think that's doable. So now I've got the cadence. So I'm just going to do a couple like that and see if I have some that sound right. City Theater, straight, take 4. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February... Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Okay, so there's a couple of different takes. I'll go back and listen to them and see how they go. And then if I need to, I'll come back and do some more takes on it. But I also want to try some with that old-timey vibe, which I think is a little bit more like this, and, I'm trying to make it to mess the cadence up a little bit. Terrible imitation, but we'll see how it comes out. This is take 1 of the old-timey version. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January... Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. So there you have it. So rather than taking back to the control room, I just put the microphone directly under the take. So you heard the different takes for the Neumann mic and for the vintage mic that I had here, and you heard how they sounded. So 2 different deliveries. We'll see what they like. They might have me come back and do others, but that's essentially how it works. You notice how I slated there in between each of my takes. Then I got to the rhythm where I just had snap fingers so I could see where they were in my waveform when I took it back to my editing station over there. But that's all there is to it. So go get in your booth and practice some TV commercial tags and record something amazing. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. And here's the vintage mic. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater. Go ringside for the fight of the century, the Royale, playing January 21st through February 12th at City Theater.